Hello, how are you? It's Kira King here. And you guys, I haven't seen you for a while. Many of you have been asking for the newest Ascension updates or Earth Shift updates, and I'm here to deliver. Thank you so much for hanging out. And again, if you are new to how I work, just in brief, when I was 14 years old, I started receiving visions essentially, and I'm clairvoyant, and my clairvoyance expands outside of not only our planet but our star system. And over the last 16 years, I have learned how to translate, what that means and how this gift was intended to be delivered for essentially our earth shifts, our spiritual awakening as a species, and to deliver the quantum fields of how we are navigating the age of Aquarius. Okay, so it's been a couple weeks. I have myself been doing much integration, much focusing and releasing. And if you listen to myself or other people out there who, a lot of people, they more channel other beings, if you will. I don't do that. This is a little bit different. So you're gonna hear the same things from people. We're going through more shifts. We're purging. A couple videos back, I was talking about, this is the year of our soul, like really coming out. So what does that mean? What does that look like? As well as, the shifts that are happening interdimensionally, cosmically, and what does that mean for us? So, excuse me, I need a drink. So what that means is we're purifying. That's what we're doing. That's what we're called to do. Keep on purifying and realizing and experiencing our human potential. And that looks different for everybody. And again, remembering unity consciousness and not just talking about it, and definitely not shaming other people for what their path of enlightenment is or isn't. If it looks different to yours, everybody, again, is in these different spaces. So before I really get into the meat of these messages, I want to remind you guys that there are waves of awakening, if you will. So again, if you are new, I highly encourage you to watch the first video I did in the year of 2018, and I break down, some of the dimensional shifts, and I'm going to keep on going back to this. So from what I can perceive, over the next 2.5 years, we're still breaking down this third dimensional matrix, right? And then a lot of us are also doing the healing work or the balancing in resonance between the fourth and the fifth dimensional plane. So I drew this, and this is the crossover. So these are like the bridges between these realms. Now, all of these experiences, we're just vibration. So we have the third dimensional matrix for vibration, the fourth and the fifth. They're all happening. Now, this orange circle I'm drawing is the earth, okay? So we're just dubbing that the earth. They're all happening at the same time, okay? And one of the reasons why we are going through a spiritual awakening is because we are, and again, you guys, this is all Kiraology here. This is this is just how I see it, have seen it, and continue to see it. There are, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot, the reason why we're going through these dimensional shifts is because of the plasma energy, and I see it from many different sources. These I hear it as well. So it's music, it's vibration. Imagine like these giant tuning forks, okay, that are just in the ethers, and they'll go off and boom, 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 and then it'll rock these dimensional frequencies, okay? So those frequencies is your magnetic field. These frequencies are your is the earth and the energy field of the earth, okay? And we'll feel it. And when we feel that, and when that comes in contact with our bodies, we dislodge, because it's such a high vibration, we dislodge these frequencies, energies, dust buddies, or some of you guys call it negative energy, or shadow spaces, if you will, shadow spaces of the soul, shadow spaces, basically what you're hiding, aspects of your personality and your human experience that just hasn't been favorable. Okay, so all of this stuff just like it starts making its way out, and it has to get transmuted somehow, right? And that works its way out through our emotions. It works its way out through toxins in the body. It works its way out through ownership of our path, taking responsibility, taking action, not participating in certain things or actions that are harmful to the spirit, harmful to the body. Okay, and there's a lot that we are being called to purge, because so these black squiggly lines, this is what's really huge for us this year, okay? Is history, the earth history, the memories that are being held in the water, the earth, the dirt, the collective consciousness, okay? The collective consciousness is what's purging. Your memory field at the soul level, so those of you who are doing past life healings, doing past life readings, or if you're someone like me who helps these people and that are purging and healing, cleansing the earth history, cleansing the collective consciousness, so that way we can absorb more of this light coming from, and again, I see it from behind the central sun, or our sun behind the central sun, and other various sources. I did one of my last videos, I was seeing light coming through on the opposite side of Pluto, okay, and I was seeing how that was going to be affecting us. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting skill set, and I'm doing my best to be a clear conduit for that. So, healing is huge. Those of you who are, life coaches, psychotherapists, we're working through our connection inside, and the stories in our subconscious mind, our subconscious memory field, and we're all one energetic network. I cannot stress that enough. And science has already proved that, but we need to embody these lessons, embody these teachings, embody the process of purification, okay? Over and over and over. It is essential to these dimensional shifting. And shifts that we're experiencing. So much of the third dimension is dropping out, and we're doing a lot of healing work in the fourth. So remember, the fourth dimension, we also experience time-space realities, okay? And so those of you, today's the 17th of February, have shared via Facebook that the beginning of February, we were experiencing a lot of synchronization. As we are letting go of the old Earth history, let's just say the third dimensional aspects of the lower fourth dimensional space, it's allowing more awakening or light consciousness or infinity consciousness, unity consciousness to come through. And this is why not judging one another where we're at right now is key, because everybody is in a different resonance, okay? Meaning it's not wrong. Some of us are just waking up. We're realizing that we have these potentials, that there's such thing as love and forgiveness and no conditions. Some of us have been on some sort of spiritual path for many, many years. Some of us are just learning about the chakra system, energy, or what we're really doing here. Some of us are into research. Some of us are learning about boundaries and self-love and contributing to the whole. And then there are some of us who are actually just, and this is a lot of the fourth dimensional stuff that I'm seeing playing out. And I want to talk about this because it needs to be talked about. There is a difference. There's a difference between being spiritual and actually practicing, okay? And this year is when our soul gifts are being activated by many of these frequencies coming in naturally. Those of you who are doing DNA work or energy work and all of these beautiful things. Many people were born, they call us star seeds or old souls. There's a little bit of a difference, but there's so much that people are bringing in to our communities. But that doesn't mean that, excuse my language, you get to be an asshole just because you've had some sort of revelation. Take what you've learned and teach someone. Take what you've learned and help. Don't. I'm seeing this so much, and it's very counterproductive to where we're headed. The whole point of why we have chosen to awaken at this time is to help one another gravitate towards unity consciousness, not get to some sort of level or perceived level that you have attained some sort of enlightenment and then start shaming other people that they're not where you're at. You know, that's still an aspect of the ego, aspects of the self where you are holding on to, and some of you guys are gonna not like what I have to say, and that's fine. You're still entertaining these lower aspects of the third and fourth dimensional realities. And those of us who are like, yay, 5D, new earth, blah, 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 blah. All right, but you have to shift with it. All right? There's so much shaming one another for the stories that are being held, that are worked out through us. Okay? So I'm just going to remind you guys and ask for your participation here to allow yourself to surrender to humility, being more humble. And when I mean that, it's not some like submissive, icky humility, like there's anything wrong with you. It's just being open to receive more consciousness and awareness. And so if you want to start judging someone in their path, refrain and ask yourself, is this more connecting, or is it more dividing? Is this action, this thought, this judgment, this emotion, what am I actually radiating through the collective consciousness, through the whole? Okay? Because when it comes to our Earth history, we've done that enough. We have participated in that shit enough. And yeah, it's shit. It is icky and nasty, limiting, okay? And the whole point of our souls choosing to go through this experience is to fine-tune over and over and over. Look at what's limiting, challenge it, break it down, surrender, keep on accepting that, hey, we don't have it all figured out. And then there's an awareness. There's more tuning. There's more tuning. As long as we're in the body, there's more tuning to be had. I'm going to now get into paradigm shifts and the next step. So history was huge, and it's going to cleansing of the earth history is definite. We're on that track. That really started huge last September, October, and really started getting pushed to the surface through the collective consciousness last November. Okay, so we're having another wave of it. So those higher aspects of the fifth dimensional realm were starting to drop through. The beginning of February, the last couple of weeks, it's been a ton of synchronicity as you guys were experiencing more and more and more. Excuse me. So I'm just going to draw this black circle, and this black circle is going to represent the earth. All right. Now, what I would like, you know what? No. We'll go back to that. So this is going to represent the central sun. This one is going to represent our sun. I usually draw a line because when I see it's kind of like a barrier, in a way it's kind of, yeah, it's like a wall. And there is going to be, and we are experiencing it right now, and I'm going to give you guys an updated list of what people call ascension symptoms, and that's basically, you know, I believe that we will and we are ascending through the body. And that means ascending limitations in our cells, limitations in our biology, limitations in our emotions, limitations on how we treat each other. We're ascending how we take care of one another. We are all either participating in a unified field or a segregated field, vibrationally, okay? And it's up to you what you want to choose. But because of the increase of plasma energy, it's crazy. It's beyond wild to me. So I actually can see this, and I became aware of this when I was about 18, 19 years old. So that was about 2006, 2007. I was seeing this energy coming off the sun, and I was just like asking guidance, asking, you know, the great presence, you know, what is this? And I just was hearing, you know, plasma energy, and then I Googled it and found, oh, like it's actual real thing, kind of cool. So this plasma energy is coming through, and it's basically like putting these punching these holes, or penetrating the magnetic field of how we're gravitating in space. Okay, and I'm not a scientist. I do not make any claims. I'm clairvoyant. I see this energy. I translate. That's what I do. Take it or leave it. And what I'm seeing here is, you know, it not only affects us in, let's just say, your chakra system or your energy field, but it affects the gravitational pulls, and it affects the magnetism. What I'm also perceiving is it's affecting our water. So the water in your body, your lymph system, the oceans, oh, that's something I'd like to talk about too. And the water consciousness. Remember when I said, you know, the history on our planet. I'm just drawing these little drops. So that's water. It's a little bit better. The water is going to be shifting. So pay attention to you know what, not only what you're putting in your body, but allowing the water to work with you. So what does that mean? Charge your water, speak to your water. You know, your thoughts have a direct effect on the water. And we know this. I don't have to go into that. You can do your own research there. And what I'm seeing here, and this is where it's really fun, you guys. You know, the third and the fourth and the fifth dimensional matrix here. Now, and I've described this before, third and fourth dimension to me are, there's a lot of limitation in mental and how we perceive things, how willing we are willing, how deep we are willing to release, you know, maybe what's being held in your ancestral lineage, the pain points, the traumas in our earth history. That's all still vibrating through us. And we're being called to keep on literally lightening up. So that means that, you know, there's some sort of not only energetic change, but a shift in matter. And I've been seeing in, you know, not only in my own inner work, but with my clients lately, there's this, we're breaking through this old energetic crystalline structure, okay? And there's an importance of working with our water, because our water, as it's coming into contact with this plasma energy, we need that purity, because it's programming us. It's literally programming us, and it's programming us naturally, and that's why we have what people call ascension symptoms. So I know for myself and a lot of people that I spoke with, people reaching out, hey, I have this going on, and what's going on, and Kara, I need another video. And so I hope that this will help with some of what's been shifting. Your head feeling like it's been locked in a vice. Migraines, headaches, okay. More ascension symptoms is like this crystalline structure. Our bodies are breaking this down, and so that this plasma energy is, I'm seeing it like shift. There's like these two deeply opposing forces that are going on between us as we're moving from this third dimensional space into the fourth. Well, the matter and the vibration is so fast, it, along with the, you know, the natural expansion of your guys' inner work, but when this plasma energy is shifting the water and the magnetism on the earth, we have no choice but to shift. All right. So let your body move. The connective tissue shifting is going to be a huge release. So I love yin yoga, participate in yin yoga, any sort of connective tissue release, any sort of body care that you can do. Body work is going to be great for us. But again, I can't stress the importance of you know, tuning your water. Something that came through for me, you know, putting crystals in your water, speaking to your water, I love you, you know, putting your water in copper, but also, you know, if you have tuning forks, playing your tuning forks in your water and then drinking it, making subtle shifts as far as, you know, filters. But this is where we also need to participate in, you know, coming together in numbers and creating the impact in our communities. So those of us who are skilled, you know, at the local level in government, or creating together, you know, how are we going to shift this? These are some of the things that we're going to be working through over the next couple of years. As one system drops out, a new is, and it will be rising. So, and that's something that I'm seeing, and a lot of other people are seeing. Some astrologers are talking about that. And again, I'm not an astrologer. I just see the energy, and I highly recommend connecting with Raquel Spring. Look her up on YouTube or Facebook, any social media outlet, and you'll find her. She's a great astrologer that brings in phenomenal information. And what I do see is, you know, not only is this plasma energy shifting, you know, the magnetism and the spin in water, which is an effect of the plasma energy here, it's allowing us to activate new, I don't want to call them chakras because they're not. Chakra means wheel, so I guess. But what I'm seeing is that we will be at the end of this month, so this is the month of February 2019, we are going to start experiencing a new gravitational pull through the body. So it's going to feel really light and then really low, really light, really low. So we're gonna feel a little bit different in our physical body. I'm also seeing that there's these, let me draw this out for you because it's really phenomenal. And again, you guys, I'm clairvoyant. I've been an energy worker and teacher for 10 years now. And here we go. So when I'm working on someone, oh goodness, you guys are going to see my stick figure drawings, right? When I'm working on someone, let's just draw them this way. There will be these tubes, okay? These tethers that will, we're going to call this the third, the fourth, and the fifth dimension, okay? And again, they're all vibrating and happening at the same time. You guys, I'm doing my best to describe the quantum field to you, okay? In this way, with earth shifts and shift in consciousness and what we keep on going through and how you can navigate this to your best and finest ability. So in the third, there's all these, you know, really chaotic, windy tubes in that realm. And we're multidimensional, so we experience all of this. Some, you know, when you guys go through these highs and then the lows and then the highs and then the lows. When we get into the fourth dimension, I'm seeing it a little bit more flowy, okay? And even like spherical in a way. They're shapes. We operate in shapes or sacred geometry. There's different patterns that we can apply to us. But Each density is different. Okay, so in the fifth, it's less windy. It's more like that, okay? So when I know you guys, this is out there stuff, right? but I promise it's going to make sense. When we are shifting and we keep going through these ascension symptoms or this ascension process, you know, the physical body has to release. So there could be these pockets in the auric field or this detachment. So, you know, some of you guys have reached out to me and it's like, God, I'm so depressed, or I have all this anxiety, or like, there's nothing going on in my life. Why am I paralyzed and anxious all of a sudden? I don't claim to, I don't make any claims. I'm not a mental health professional, but this is just a different approach here. You know, the history between the third, and again, I'm doing that just because the lower half of the fourth dimension to me is the way that I can describe it's uncomfortable. Let's just put it that way. And then upper fourth and fifth, it's a little more comfortable, preferable experience. So, you know, all of us pretty much, if you're watching this, we were born into an earth dimensional plane, or third dimensional earth plane. So we've experienced all these windy cords and twists and turns. And when I do energy work with people, I sometimes describe it as untangling a ball of yarn through these layers and layers and layers. So it's not just one resonance. You're working the resonance between the third dimension, the fourth dimension, and the fifth dimension, and sometimes higher depending on the soul that I'm working with. And I want to make this clear. So when you are detaching from here, there are physical releases, there's mental and emotional releases, okay? Most of us right now, we are still, unfortunately, kind of tethered between the third, definitely the fourth, but we're also vibrating at the fifth, okay? Meaning our path together is the harmony between, I'm going to do this, the divine, what am I going to say? Kind of looks like a brain, huh? The divine masculine and the divine feminine, or the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. That is our path together internally to the fifth dimensional unity consciousness, along with the cosmic frequencies that are coming through. So the more that you are being active and aware of your internal masculine, your internal feminine, your yin, your yang, your presence and what you are acting on, that is going to keep on shifting you. You know, you guys at the beginning of the video, I was just, you know, kind of basically saying, stop shaming one another, stop participating in more of this device division. We're all doing the best that we can. Instead, lend a helping hand, or just go internally within. Now, what I can see through these next waves that are coming through for the end of February, there's going to be even more masculine, feminine activations. And this is what I wanted to talk about to you guys, as well as why I'm drawing this. Well, through these masculine, feminine activations, you know, these are things that you can't really Google. They're not Googleable. There's something that wakes up inside of you, something that's been dormant, and then you realize and experience for yourself. And everyone's going to be experiencing this different, okay? I have some dates pertaining to this. The 23rd, the 24th, is when we kind of start stepping out into these experiences. We start detaching again. We're going through another detachment through these cords into the lower aspects of the divine masculine and feminine. So if you start going through these aha moments, or like quick inspirations or downloads or whatever we want to call it, the synchronicities that we were experiencing at the beginning of February are all pretty much like all of these little fractals now align themselves around the 23rd and 24th. So you're going to have a lot of inspiration, a lot of direction, a lot of clarity naturally. Okay. And around between the 26th and 28th, this is where a lot of us are going to be able to walk through these doors. Now, these doors, again, this is going to be the upper level. Oh, this is, I need like a wall, you guys. These doors, let's just put the 26th through the 28th, are going to be like a type of portal where we walk, we cross over the threshold after we go through this more of this sacred masculine feminine internal ascension. So another wave of it. We have more of these aha moments, and we start connecting even more. So maybe opportunities were showing up for you. And this portal that I'm seeing, it's not coming from the outside in. It's coming from the inside out of the earth, which is really cool. If you watched one of the videos prior, I told you guys that around right now, the earth energy, she was going to start pushing energy up. So what I'm seeing is as we are cleansing the history, and there could be some earth shifts too. I mean, it could be very physical, meaning, a shift in tide, a shift in matter, earth matter. Okay. We don't really know. And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm pretty good with some of these predictions, if you will, but I don't make any claims. So I'm just, expressing it this way. But what I'm seeing here is that because we're cleansing the earth's history, Gaia is essentially waking up in a way. And she starts pushing this awareness out, right? So as we're receiving, in order for her to make her next pull up into her harmonic resonance with the rest of the cosmos, the rest of the planets, the rest of the divine design, she also, is going through her own space. So there's definitely, a shift as we're cleansing history. She's also having her film or something revealed, and that is what is the most apparent to me. So there's going to be some ancient activations in us, and from what I'm perceiving, this is guys, I like to get weird, but this is something, again, before human beings were here. So what we're about to go through and experience this at the end of this month is it's really, really beautiful, and it is almost like the breaking ground of the next cycle of Earth history. As we're purging that density, we also start recording the newness. So she makes her way. I said a pull up, right? So she makes her way into more of this fourth dimensional space, right? And so we have opened the gates to more of this fourth, fifth, third. We've made this room, and these bubbles are the earth, okay? And again, notice more expansion, more constriction, you know? And we have the choice of what we're going to vibe with, essentially. Well, what are we contributing towards, right? And this is the process. It's just, you know, keeping on releasing, trying not to project on ourselves or others, or, you know, you keep on going back to a blank piece of paper. What can I learn today? How can I expand over here towards unity consciousness within myself? And again, this goes back to, you know, what we signed up for collectively and at the soul level, to experience. So just to recap, because I'm going to wrap this up, we are cleansing history, earth history, and your soul memory with the earth history, okay? So, and she, Gaia, is also cleansing, and that's going to expand through us. And simultaneously, we are also having a shift of plasma energy come through and breaking down the crystalline structures in our energy fields between the third and fourth dimension, at the same time activating our resonance, our harmonic resonance naturally through all of these things happening simultaneously. And it's like it's an orchestra. It's all of these tunes, these tones, these sounds, these vibrations happening over and over. It just keeps on weaving itself. We're safe, okay? Now remember those chords I was talking about? And again, watch that first video. When we go through these quantum leaps, we can get a little fearful, because it's like, where am I going? What's next? This is where, you know, really tapping into your inner child is going to be key, because your inner child is fearless. Okay? So I want to remind you of that, excuse me. And the healing work we're doing is, for a lot of us, for most of us, is going to be this fourth dimensional space. So experiences outside of space, time, more of these, like, whoa, where was I? Or what am I experiencing? Or, you know, you might feel uncomfortable in the way that what you've been doing, the way you've been operating. Your spirit is wanting more of those higher vibrations. So anything that you can do to gravitate towards that, please do that. To participate in, again, I mentioned body work, self-care, and allowing the water to heal you, because you need that. You need the water. Because there's something to do with the plasma energy coming through and the water in our body and the water on our earth. It's like that's what's going to be helping us make this, not only the quantum field leaps, but, you know, if you guys are doing the work to gravitate towards your higher self, you know, there's also a conductivity happening. Okay, and the more that we can purify, and I'm not just physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and lessening the reins of control and allowing more of our true divinity to come in is going to be key here. So I hope that helps you. There's going to be a couple more videos coming through for you guys. Thanks again. Please make sure you subscribe. I have a Facebook community. It's called Ascension for the Modern Mystic. And this is where you can connect and share and support one another. If this helps you, I do ask that you share this video, and again, subscribe. Thanks again. My name is Kira. Thanks for hanging out.